Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our joint Interfaith Council World Wisdoms Project video series. We're interviewing local Fort Collins community members. And today I'm really excited to have a colleague, Gaurav Harshe, who is going to share with us a little from the international student experience. I met Gaurav with two of the Interfaith Friendsgiving gatherings that we've had. You were gracious enough both times to offer a Hindu prayer of blessing before the meal. And we were very grateful to have it. So, but I know you wear many hats in our community. So if you can share a little bit, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Gaurav Harshe again. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I volunteer with the Fort Collins International Center, and I do a lot of different things there. Currently, I'm working with their social media, so everything in Facebook, Instagram, sometimes on the website as well, managing the website and making sure it's up and running, maintaining that. But then otherwise, on the people-oriented side, I help with international students with their random, requests with housing, moving, transition questions. And transition can be in terms of housing, but also in terms of, okay, I'm graduating. What are my next steps? What are my options? Where can I go next? Who can I find? What kind of network can I, tap onto? Job questions, just supporting people and having a listening ear. But then with the OIPs, that is Office of International Program from CSU, I also help with their virtual programming right now because most of our programming has shifted to online because of the coronavirus. So yeah, just working with their virtual programming team and making sure things are connected with our students so they feel supported even throughout this difficult time. Yeah.
Wonderful. And you started to touch on it a little bit, but how has life and work shifted for you since March?
Yeah, so since March, everything has been pretty volatile, and we've been trying to pivot every single time as to what we're doing next and where people are heading. And we want to meet people where they are, and not push our own agenda as a way. So we've just been trying to see where they are, and most of our students are online on, say, Instagram, Facebook, Zoom these days. So we've been trying to have sessions and programming on those platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Pretty much, we have done 2 trivia nights now, and the next one is on 7th, I believe, 7th July. And then we have some concerts online from the Confucius Institute. So we have some musicians from China that have been doing live Facebook concerts. People can just join in. And then we did a Zumba class once. So everything has been online. And then we've been doing Instagram stories and challenges and templates and things like that. Some fun stuff to keep our students engaged, even though they aren't here or wherever they have been. A lot of students have gone back to their countries or moved
Okay.
to their places where they have like loved ones in a support system. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we've been doing a lot of pivoting and reorganization and aligning as such.
That's a huge amount of work and a huge amount of shifting.
Yeah.
And I also, in our first town hall on racism in Northern Colorado, you shared that the experience of coronavirus has some particular effects on the international student community.
Yeah, so we have been hearing incidents, not many, but just, sparse incidents where students that are Asian passing that look like Asian people, like Chinese, Vietnamese, but they don't really know, the public doesn't really know where they're coming from. So they
Mhm.
club everybody as, Chinese or Asian, although I'm an Indian and I'm also Asian, but
Uh-huh.
a lot of people don't realize that. So a lot of people that were wearing masks were, targeted at or like
Mm.
talked badly at, although behind their backs and some in front of them. where they were wearing masks, folks were like, "Oh, they have the coronavirus, and we should stay away from them." But in the Asian cultures, we understand that people are wearing masks because a lot of communal cultures like China, India, we stay in densely populated areas more often than not, and wearing masks is just a way to respect the other person's privacy and the other person's health.
Mhm.
And just wearing a mask is the basic courtesy that we have. So a lot of our Chinese students were wearing masks, and people were understanding that, oh my God, it's China virus.
Mhm.
So that rhetoric has been prevalent. It's not too much, but it's still there, and we've been trying to face that and also educate people in
Mhm.
our own ways, but then also console or listen in from those people that have been talked at. So just different things that have been happening and trying to understand where people are coming from and why they do certain things they do.
Mhm. And I heard you say that a lot of international students have been able to go to places that they might call home, or that can be a better home for now than maybe campus, but there are also students who are still on campus and isolated.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of students generally can't really travel.
We're gonna resume recording, and we were talking about international students who might still be stuck on campus and feel extra isolated.
Yeah, so a lot of students did have the opportunity to go back to their country and go back to their support system, whether it's in the United States or anywhere elsewhere. And that's because this SEVP, which is the Student Exchange Visitor Portal, the federal government let students know that people on a non-immigrant visa that are students can be online for the rest of the semester. Otherwise, international students aren't at the liberty of just going online and being remote generally. But because of the unprecedented situation with the coronavirus, they let that exception go.
Okay.
A lot of students really just moved back wherever they were most comfortable with. Some people went back to Europe, some people went back to Asia, some people went back to Africa, and so on and so forth. But a lot of other students, about 86% of our students, stayed back on campus because of different reasons. Mostly, some of them are like financial reasons, some of them were travel bans from their own countries. Like India, way back, set a travel ban saying we're not going to have international flights at all, and then they soon shut down domestic flights as well. So there was no really way of planning a path back to their countries. A lot of people got stuck essentially, and because of a lot of jobs being lost on campus, like a lot of our international students are in, say, dining jobs, but because of all of the dorms or residence halls being closed, a lot of students left the residence halls. A lot of the domestic students, and the dining halls, because they serve them, also started shutting down or started having less number of shifts. That's why students, like international students, lost their jobs as such. Uh, so they were not able to financially support like rent, other monthly expenses, and things like that. So they were stuck in that sense as well, apart from just physically being stuck, but also financially being stuck in a place is kind of weird. So we've been supporting them in different ways. But yeah,
That's that's a lot. How are you doing with all of this?
I think I'm doing
Emotionally.
pretty good. It's just that I've been pretty certain about my plans. So I'm better off this year than of many previous years, because every summer I was like, what do I do now? I need to find an internship. I need to find this. I need to find a job, this and that. This summer has been pretty certain in that sense for me. So yeah, a lot of other students do not have that privilege, wherein they are now graduating in May, and then when you have the economy going down, people aren't getting jobs in general. But then international students also have an extra layer of paperwork and all of the baggage they come with. So those students are still not getting jobs. And then because they have the OPT, which is the which is the year or 3 years of work benefit on their visas. They're still not getting those jobs because people are like, we don't have jobs for US citizens, so we're not going to hire, in the sense, like international students. But a lot of students have gotten jobs in the sense of internships. Like Woodward, I've been hearing, is still offering internships, but other smaller companies are also offering some jobs. So it's just a one-off incident, but most of them are still kind of stuck financially, physically, and emotionally as well. Because I was going through this way, wherein if I were in India, I would do that right now, because a lot of my community back home is struggling with the coronavirus, and there was this feeling of helplessness, almost as if like you can't really do anything for your community when they most need you. So that was a feeling that I had in the very beginning, but then it is just a fact of life that you really can't help, and then you just start getting used to it, which is really sad, because you start desensitizing yourself from certain things that you called home, or that felt home to you. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for being
Yeah.
so candid. Other than desensitizing yourself, sort of the negative side of it, are there things that have helped you replenish yourself? You do a lot of care for international students. What is refilling you as you're caring for others?
So my way of, replenishing myself or refreshing myself is mostly through cooking. I do a lot of Indian cooking,
Uh-huh.
and it's been really nice, because I've been doing a lot of cooking that I wouldn't generally do otherwise.
Mhm.
I've been getting a lot of time at hand, and I can cook, lavish Indian dishes that take about 2 or 3 hours at a
Mhm.
stretch one time, and then all the cutting, chopping, and then obviously all the cleaning that comes after. So that's a lot. So I've been just doing that, and then I just planted some plants and some flowering plants. So just been taking care of that. We have a mint uh, plant outside, and in the earlier in the sum- in the spring, I just had a little plant that was like, almost this tall, and then now we just transplanted it into a big pot, and the whole pot has grown to about 2 feet tall.
Wow.
That whole pot, it has reclaimed the space. That pot completely of mint now. But then I just got some marigolds the other day, and then some carom seeds as well that I've been growing. That's like a spice in India, where you have seeds of it, and then you have leaves, and then you make fritters out of it. So I've been hoping that they grow, and then the leaves start coming sometime soon.
Oh,
But then I
fun.
also have basil, and then I just got 2 weeks ago I got from Home Depot 3 hibiscus plants of different colors, because that's
Ooh.
a really nostalgic kind of a color and a flavor and flower in general,
Mhm.
and the fragrance is also very nostalgic. So I was like, okay, if you're going to be harbored in at home, I'm going to get these plants and take care of them.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Been doing a little more of the cooking and the baking as well. Lots of baking. So I'm grateful for this cold, rainy day, because it
Yeah.
doesn't, heating up my whole house is not a problem in the way that it is normally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did tiramisu cakes twice this
Oh.
yeah, that has been just great. The first time it came out really well. Second time I made two cakes instead of just one. So I had more layers this time, and it
Mhm.
was just amazing.
That's awesome. Uh, um, let's see. Oh, that was another question. I know that the Hindu community in Fort Collins is small. There's no official physical space, but has things changed? Have things changed for you, religious observance wise, during this
Not
time?
necessarily, just the way, because as you said, we have a really small community, and the Indian community is also really small. We have a lot of people, south of Harmony, staying in the technology space, technology drive, working there, but also at CSU, a lot of professors, faculty, staff, and
Mhm.
such. So we don't really have a temple here, and in Hinduism, it's called a temple, our worship space. So we generally don't do a lot of things, but then um, in the upcoming like month, there have been talks about how do we congregate and how do we meet people. The Hindu Temple of Denver, Colorado, which is in Denver, has been doing online
Okay.
rituals and things. So people have been just tuning online for the most part. But apart from that, there hasn't been a lot of collective decisions. It's just been a personal experience, and for me, Hinduism is a more personal way of life than a collective ritualistic way of life for that is also a way of life for other Hindus. But yeah, there has been a lot of disassociation in the sense of where do you go with this now. How do you meet and how do you pray together, because generally when we come together we pray together, and
Mhm.
that's the way with what we pray in rituals and things. So that hasn't been happening. And in the upcoming months, we have a 10-day festival called Lord Ganesha's Festival.
Mhm.
So we generally do a huge grand celebration in Fort Collins, but we don't know what the fate of that also lies. There's just been a lot of uncertainty on a whole.
Mhm. Yes, absolutely. Wow. Yeah. Well, I think those are all my big questions, but then Abby and I came up with some lightning rounds that are maybe ideas for all of us who are at home for things to do. So the first one is there a book you're reading right now and enjoying?
Yeah, so I'm reading this book called Discovering the Vedas, and it's by Fritz Stahl. I don't know if I said that right, the pronunciation, but it's by Fritz Stahl, Discovering the Vedas. It's just talking about where the Vedas, the four Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, all those things came from. And it's
Mm,
just been a continued journey for me, because as a minority here in Colorado and the US in general, I've been wanting to study my faith in more of a depth. So just that reason, and then it's also in English. So my like lingua franca and my thinking language is English. So I really like reading English books. Although I know Sanskrit and a lot of other Indian languages, I tend to gravitate towards English. That's what I learned in. So yeah, that's a book that I've been reading.
wonderful. How about what's your favorite music for Corona times, as someone has been calling them?
Oh, I fling between a lot of different music ideas and music genres, but generally I gravitate towards classical Indian music, Hindustani music, which is most of the times instrumental with a lot of bass and tabla and a lot of sitar
Mhm.
and a lot of string instruments. So classical Hindustani music, most of it. And then I really follow Anushka Shankar on her different platforms, and her Ali Akbar School of College of Music, or School of Music is what it's called. They've been doing a lot of online events, and they have concerts that they have been publishing online for a limited period of time, so that you can just go and check it out, and then they'll take it off the website. So yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Let's see. What you sort of said it already, but what's a food that you've been very into since March? Yeah.
I think Indian food for the most part.
Mhm.
And because I'm vegetarian, we have a lot of Indian vegetarian cuisine there. So I've been trying different elaborate dishes, but I'm more of a sweet tooth. So I really tried. I tried different sweet products, and I made this lentil laddu. So it's of a lentil flour.
Mhm.
It's roasted, and then you just mold it into small little round balls. I've done that, besan laddu, and then also rasgulla, which is like the Eastern Indian sweet dish. So it's from Kolkata, and it's made up of cottage cheese, but then it's sweet, so it's in sugary syrup. So
Mm.
that's what I'm baking and stuff like that.
Wonderful. All right. And finally, what is a typical moment in your day that brings you joy?
I think just watering my plants every day has been really therapeutic in a way, but also just helps me meditate in my own way. And I keep telling this to everybody I meet. It's not like meditation is you just sit in a confined space and just be at a posture or anything. Anything that brings a solitude and concentration to you, or focus, and drives extra thoughts away from your mind, is meditative. So that's what been happening to me when I water my plants every day. And I have a little strawberry garden that I've been watering. So just picking out strawberries when they are done, just being in that 20-minute solitude time.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Watering my garden is a space of joy for me, but it is never solo at the moment. So that sounds really lovely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I think we're going to stop the recording. Thank you so much for sharing with me and sharing with us. Yeah.
I'm glad I could do this, and I hope everybody that's watching and listening can, reach out if they need to, or just have conversations among themselves, because staying put together and staying put together is, I think, really important in these uncertain times.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.